Hi, hi. Welcome back to the story time, guys. Island for life. So, we're going to continue on what we talked about yesterday. I think I stopped at when we first met. But I want to go back a little further before I met my husband. Before I was even thinking about a husband, I had this dream. I dreamed about my son before he even was thought of. And the dream was me and my mom went to this church and we were supposed to praise dance. And we in the bathroom getting ready to get ready to dance, but I hear all this praise going up and shouting and stuff. So I told my mom, I said, Mom, we missing it. We missing it. They praising in there. And she was like, okay. I left her in the bathroom because I was done. So I went in the church and I went through the doors and I was standing like in the middle aisle, but not really in the middle. And I was looking up to the front. I see all these people up there, and there was this little boy up there. He had to be no more than 5 years old, up there laying hands on people. I could see his body, but I could not see his face. It was like his face was blank, but the body was there. So he looked up the aisle and he pointed at me and was telling me to come here. So I'm looking around like maybe it's somebody behind me or something. And I'm like, me? And he was like, he shook his head, yes, you. And then I went up there and I kneeled down and he laid hands on me and I passed out. Then I woke up out of the dream and I said, well, what do that mean? But I never thought about the dream again until I had this little boy.
Hi guys.
And so back to after I met my husband online, and he came to visit, and my mom and him started liking, and
Turn this way, right there.
And he after he left, I told you I called him crazy because he's talking about he was gonna be I was his wife, and I was already still married. I was separated from my first husband, and I wasn't trying to get married again. But as time went on, I couldn't get this man out my head. He would not go away. So we exchanged numbers or whatever, and he got me back into church because I had fell out of church. And he would call me, and then we would talk, whatever. And then before he gets off the phone, he always say, "Let's pray." So we would pray together, and then at one point we was reading the Bible over the phone, and then I started singing gospel songs and stuff like that. Then he invited me to his dad's church. Then I started going to church with him every Sunday, and so we got, some years in. I think it was 3 years. I think we was together 3 years before we had Manny. We was together 3 years before we got pregnant with Manny. We wasn't married, but when we got pregnant with Manny, I got really sick. I mean, it was bad. And the doctors told me that I think I was 4 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I was 4 months pregnant with Manny, and the doctors told me that I had to abort him. I had to get rid of the pregnancy.
Well, both of them were gonna die.
And then, they said if I didn't, we both was gonna die. And they said, which one you rather live, him or you? I said, I want both of us to live. And then she said, well, that's not possible. You could really do some damage to your body. And I said, I told Lewis, I said, let's go. And I turned around and looked at that doctor and I said, God has the last say so. And we walked out of that hospital. We never went back to that hospital. And so I went on with the pregnancy. I did get sick, but I went to the doctors like I was supposed to, and I got my daily checkups and everything. And when it was time, when I went in labor, I don't know what day it was. I think it was a Sunday.
Friday.
A Friday. I went labor Friday night. So it was, he was born on the 12th. So
On a Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon.
But Friday had to be...
The 10th.
Okay.
It was there for 2 days.
It was the 10th. I went in. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law came to visit that night. And I had just got out the tub. Now they tell pregnant women not to get in the tub, especially when it gets close to time to go in labor. They tell you not to get in the tub because you never know when your water break. You don't know. And I got out the tub. And I got dressed. My husband had to help me get dressed. So we got dressed and whatever. And I went in there to sit in the room with my mom. I was sitting on her potty chair. And I'm sitting there. And I start feeling these pains down my back. And at the bottom of my stomach. And I'm like, oh, God, Mommy, I don't know. And she said, well, here, take this pillow. Because it's probably because you're leaning on that metal pipe. And it's, like, uncomfortable. I said, okay. So she gave me a pillow to put behind me. So I'm sitting on the pillow. And I'm still having the pains. So I'm sliding down the potty. And she's like, girl, what is wrong with you? I said, Mom, I don't know. Something's wrong. That's when my brother-in-law came in. And he was like, Shy, you okay? I said, I don't know what's going on. So he went and ran and got his wife. And she comes and she said, yo, she in labor. What is y'all doing? So my husband is walking around like a zombie because he like, okay, it's time. I don't know really what to do. So his brother slapped the crap out of him and told him, nigga, you too crying for me. Get her out there so we can get to the hospital. Lou was still walking around like a zombie because it really didn't hit him that I'm in labor. My brother-in-law practically picked me up and carried me to his van. And he drove the van on the sidewalk so I wouldn't have to walk too far. And so we get in there. He ran every red light there was. Got me to St. Jefferson Hospital. Then they had me sitting in the emergency room for a day. I'm in labor, y'all. It must have not been too serious for them, but I'm in pain. I mean, major pain. And they had me sitting in the lobby in that emergency room for a day. And then that's when Lewis got sick. He got tired. Then he got up, went and told the security guard. He said, look, y'all got to do something with my wife. She's in pain. She's in labor. And we still sitting. He said, you in labor? So he went back there and got a nurse. And the nurse came out and said, oh, my God. And took me to the back. So they did, they told me that the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck. So they was asking me, did I want to do emergency C-section or do I want them to induce my labor so he could just push I said, no, if the cord is wrapped around his neck, cut me open and get my baby out of there. So they did. They took me in. It was Sunday morning. They took me in the surgery. So they had me paralyzed from the waist down. Let me go back a little bit. They had me paralyzed from the waist down. And I woke up. My mom was on one side and my husband was on one side.
You skipped the part.
And
you ain't go to sleep until I came in the room. No,
I'm not. I had to go back. When Dad, you and Mommy cussed at me.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't move. So I was telling them, I got to get up. I got to go to the bathroom. So my mom was like, well, you can't get up. I said, I need to get up. I need to stand up. And Lou was like, you can't stand up. I said, well, I got to go to the bathroom. He said, well, peel yourself. I clean it up. And I started crying. My mom said, girl, take your damn ass, excuse my French, take your damn ass to sleep. And I started crying because she ain't never talked to me like that. So I started crying, and then my husband telling me to pee on myself. I had a catheter in. So I wasn't going to pee on myself. They just said that to me to make me be quiet and relax. So to the surgery, they take me in the surgery room. I told them I can't walk. So they would have to lift me up on the bed. So they was giving me an epidural, and I said, if y'all give me an epidural, y'all definitely gonna have to move me around, because I ain't gonna be able to do nothing for y'all. And so they did. They gave me the epidural, and they laid me down on my back, and they gave me something else through my IV. And then they told me I could still feel them rubbing the knife on my legs and stuff. So they had to pop my legs up like this. And they had me sitting up, laying down flat, but my legs was in the air. And I could not go to sleep. I fought that drug until I heard them say, Daddy's here.
Oh, let me jump in.